Ave Maria, this is the Marian Friars Minor. I just wanted to make a video update, especially for all those of you who've been following and helping us with this for the last year. But I'm standing in the spot where basically a year ago I stood here and talked about how we wanted to make a retreat center here and a friary. And we're a year in. It took us a long time to buy the property. At this original site where I stood and made that first video, we have our workstation. We have this wonderful mill that Wood Miser, who has a wonderful mission statement that even mentions our dear blessed Lord's name in it, and I believe they're Catholic, gave us a $21,000 donation to help get this mill. Very expensive, but a very professional grade mill. Our other one, Woodland Mills, told us basically we had the wrong mill because their mill didn't work and it broke almost every time we used it. So things are moving along. Unfortunately, this is a work site, so it's not the prettiest thing ever. This is what we're hoping to build our walls using this called wattle and daub. It's just an experiment. And looks like some of the daub dried up, but we would put a bunch of mud on there and then plaster, lime plaster. At present, we have just finished. We finished it a bit ago. We've been making a site down here, 30 by 28, and we're preparing now. We were doing our timber frame there, and some of you saw the video. We did a timber frame class there with a tent. Now we've just put in a bunch of concrete piles so that we're going to erect, once we get the wood milled, we're going to be putting up a 30 by 28 kind of pavilion so that we can work underneath it even when it rains, which, being exquisitely beautiful here, it does rain quite often. The brothers down here, just kind of working in these little bays, are able to continue, some of them doing timber frame, while the others have been putting out, they just finished laying the concrete piles. That's our water project back there that we finished earlier this year. And I will go through and show, as I'm working on the property, a few different places. We have it cleared. If we go up this way, which our actual road takes us around, this is going to be a road we still have to build. It's more of an access point to the back of the friary, where the friary site will actually be. A lot of trees have been cleared up there, but only enough to stick the building in, because we want the building to be in the trees. You can see the light up there. You can also see some smoke going up because we're burning debris. So there will be eventually the little road that goes up there. Right now the access road's over there. Not access, but the actual driveway, and it goes around. I'll take you up there and I'm going to show you what that looks like now. Underneath here is all of our power lines. The electric isn't in yet, but it is the conduit for it. And there's also pipe in there for water that'll eventually be piped up this way. As you can see, as it starts to get light, that's the building site. Now we're approaching the building site. This is gonna be the far edge of the building. It'll be right here. I'll be on its front porch, basically right here. This part of the building will be 3 stories because of the grade. It's over 20 degrees. And here will be a lower area. There'll be a retaining wall in there, and that'll be a flatter area with 2 levels. Look at these massive rocks there and there, which limits our ability to go that way. So our building will go from there down to where they see the fire. Here in the soil, it's a lot of rock. These are the kind of rocks we pull up. So these rocks will be used to build our retaining wall. You can see those down there, massive. The one that you can see right there, it's like the size of a boat. And we were able to get that out with the excavator we were able to get. Without it, I don't know how we'd be doing this work. These trees unfortunately still have to come out, but they are of the most excellent quality. When we had our timber frame class, they were so impressed with our logs. And those were milled with a mill that doesn't work very well. I can only imagine what it's going to happen with our new mill. So we still have quite a few logs here we're going to be taking down. But we've been thinking about trying to outsource logs so that we can keep our forest very forested. See that view? That's just it. Like, it doesn't have really a view. And we love it because we want the life of contemplation. And it is nice to see the mountains because they're right behind these trees. But the life of contemplation, it's nice to kind of be closed in where we can pray. We live up the retreat house where we live right now. That's a place that has a beautiful view, and we feel like that's for other people, not for us. It is very beautiful. So this is where the friary will go. Where this big fire is a massive pit to kind of burn up all the scrap. We make a lot of scrap wood to get our logs and our lumber, our timbers and our lumber. And the church will basically be where that tree is, to where I am right now. We'll have a church right here, God willing. It'll kind of extend all the way down to there, and there'll be a little piazza, a little tiny piazza. And this will be the parking area. We're loading logs right now to take them down to keep working. Then this whole area will be a friary. It'll be a beautiful little thing. Very simple. And all hand built. We will move these logs down, and I'll show you the building site where we're going to be putting up our first cabin. We just got all the timbers are ready for it. We just put in the concrete, and we should be ready to put the thing up here in hopefully even next week, but we will see. I'll show you that site here in a minute. Okay, I just want to make I thought this was interesting. Inside the track loader, another wonderful thing that's been extremely helpful for the massive work that we're doing here. I'll put this back down. So, following the fryer now, we just loaded up some logs. We can only take about 4 at a time because these logs are over 20 feet. They're over 20 feet wide, long, I'm sorry. And some of them are quite large. I mean, they're not too large. These are probably 18 to 20. That's one of our third order members' dog. We don't have dogs here, just so you know. But anyways, so they're very heavy. They're very heavy. They're large logs. And I can't really take one down at a time because I don't fit sometimes between the trees. And that's kind of a jarring experience when you slam into the trees. So we're going down now, and as we go down, unload them, and we fill the bays up, and then we transfer those over for the brothers to keep milling. Because the milling's really probably the most important thing, because we can't do the timber frame if we don't have the logs. Come up and get these. A couple of young men discerning religious life. I've got to get these off of here now, so I'm going to turn this off. So by the grace of God, we got that finished. Now we're gonna head down. I want to show you that other site. So I can turn up the speed a little bit up on this thing. I've got to drive down the driveway now. I'm going to show you the driveway, though you've all seen it. Okay. Now we're doing a lot of construction, so our driveway doesn't look so great right now, but it's getting packed in. So as it rains and gets moist, we grade it so that the rock sinks into the ground. Then once we're done with construction, we'll resurface the road. These are little complications, things we have to deal with. So we had to put all this rock in here. It's not all this kind of rock. There's a spring up there, right up there. It just comes right out of the ground. It's only seasonal, but it gushes. Right now it's not moving all that much, but this was gushing so bad it was eroding the wall, so we had to put these rocks in there. And it creates this little stream. You can't really see the water down there, but it creates this little stream that has to run off into another creek. We also, on this side, probably can't see this either, but I'll try it. There's another spring that comes out right here. You can see all that water gushing. So I've got the rabbit thing on. So it gushes just right out of the hole there, and we had to put in another culvert. You can see it right there. And that goes through the ground. We had to put those in ourselves after we made the road. Then again, on this side, we have a whole bunch more water. It's not a lot, but it's enough to erode everything coming out of the wall there. And we had to make a whole ditch and put in another culvert, as you can see we're coming up on. That right there's another culvert that we had to put in. And that goes through the road here. Complicated spot. Building site. This is a new building site. I'm going to turn this off and get out and show you the building site. We're getting ready to put a cabin up here. So now we're coming up here. I had to get out of somebody's way. We've just put this road in. It's just a driveway where we can bring a car in. We have access already. We don't have the electric put in yet. We'll have electric there. Water's already flowing there. We had to use that to mix the concrete. Again, this is not our dog, but we like to make fun of it. And so that was the old mill site, if you remember from the videos. And right here will be our first cabin. All the timbers are prepared for the cabin. The brothers are just here cleaning everything up after doing fine work with getting these in. So it's a small area because it's not a big cabin, but we will show you here soon when we put it up. We just put these in yesterday. This is to make it in case there's a big, it just ties the building into the stuff. So, and this will be there'll be a front porch. This will be actually a little deck to get to the door. This will be the front porch, and then this will be the cabin. It's a small little cabin, but we will be populating the whole area here. We've actually been told there's a timber frame company, the good people that came to teach us our timber frame. They said that if they would sell us their frames that they make in their classes for $20 a square foot, which normally they go for $40 a square foot, and that'll help us. And so if people want to sponsor one of those, we'll put their names inside on the rafters of their family and their prayer intentions. and then they can name it after their favorite saint. And then that's what will populate this lower portion down here, where we'll have our actual friary, the retreat center area is all going to be down here. And this will be here, and there'll be a few other cabins up this way. So we will start putting timbers on this site next week. It is a beautiful area. You can't see it right now, but all the mountains, 6,000 foot, they're right behind those trees. Brother's coming. We're gonna load up some of these logs that came down, and I'm gonna show you something interesting. So as we wait for the brother to turn around, I wanted to explain to everybody this thing. We're gonna take out these, but if you remember, this is that first road we were making here, that very first video we made. That's the entryway out there where we had that tractor and we were wrestling with even trying to start this road. Now the road comes all the way in, and it's well worn in. I hate that they ripped out everything, but we stopped them. They were here like a dinosaur, destroying everything. We told them to stop. We call this part of the driveway Immaculate Highway because they made it so massive. After that, they made it nice and skinny, but we did catch them. So here, if you remember, it was that beautiful video one of the brothers made where we put that first culvert pipe in because we had no way to get across here, and we were trying to access the rest of the property. This is that very first place. You'll see in one of the earlier videos we made, maybe around Christmas or something, I can't remember. It showed everything happening. That's that first culvert pipe that we put in. And now there's a well-worn road here. We use this, that's the original road we made. We use as an access to go back up to the retreat house where we live right now. And that's the access. We just got a new address from 911 people. So there it is. And we're going to now load up these logs to take up because we're going to make a pole barn. Not a pole barn, but a timber frame kind of pavilion to work underneath. And we're going to use these logs because they're not the best in the best shape, but they will work really well. What we have here is like that's a locust wood, which is extremely durable stuff. Red oak, also very, very, very strong wood. Then these were actually in the ground just right here, and we wanted to keep them, but he took them down when he made the plate. So we're going to take those and turn them into timbers and use them for our project that we're doing now. the very beginning. This was just a whole bunch of debris. We had trees all right there. This machine has been extremely helpful. And only by the generous donations of so many people has it been possible to get something like that, but it's made it. Now we're trying to sell all the attachments for the tractor because the tractor out here just doesn't work well, and that mill that doesn't work well. But this is the beginning. We're going to build a timber frame kind of entrance, put a big cross, maybe Our Lady and St. John or St. Francis there, and it'll just be a nice, large, beautiful entrance. So we are cleaning up for the day, and I wanted to finish this video just by talking about this 𝐏𝐷𝐷𝐷. So this is what we're hoping to do for our walls. This is how they used to do walls. Because when we looked at it, you know, our big thing is we should be able to build something very beautiful and sturdy and not have to spend an entire fortune doing it, especially because we're beggars. And we rely on you all to make your generous donations. And it's been beautiful because we don't have any big donors necessarily. We have lots of good people that donate little bits here and there, and it has kept us going this whole time. So we're trying to be very conscientious of how we use that money we're given. And this is how we want to do our walls, because we have this wood is free. This is what this panel, it's called a panel. This is what our timber frame will look like. We had to assimilate a wall to see what it looked like. And then this is how they used to do their walls. It's very secure. If I kick that, it's not going anywhere. And then we take these little things, they call them cats. They're these little mud balls, and you smear them in there. Then after that, and those cats have it's mud, it's clay, it's maybe some straw, sand, stuff like that. And then you smear it in there. And then after that, you put on a lime wash or a lime plaster, and the weather hits the lime wash and the lime plaster, and that's what keeps it from. Anyways, that the brunt of the weather hits that. Now, because it's lime and it's plaster or clay, the timbers will get wet, and then it'll immediately suck the water back out of the timbers, and it'll keep the timbers dry. And this is a very secure system, and then it also is. Anyways, we think it'll work very well. It's a little bit more labor intensive. That's why people don't really want to use it in timber frame anymore. But it's a lot better than buying truckloads of that pink stuff, foam and things like that, which will just cost a fortune. So we're going to do this. And it'll be nice and white. It'll be white, and then you'll just have the timbers exposed on the outside. You've seen those probably on German buildings and old English buildings and things like that. It's called 𝐏𝐷𝐷𝐷. So we're hoping this is what's going to work. So we have our first cabins getting ready to go up. You can see those timbers down there, as I was showing you before, way down there. Those are all the timbers that are ready to go on our first cabin. It was our one we are learning how to do that with that class ended about a week or two ago. And then we will do the infill for the walls with this 𝐏𝐷𝐷𝐷. So keep praying for us. We are praying for you, and we want to thank all of you who have been helping us so generously. And the reason we make these videos is we want you to see what a donation can do. We don't have any money, and yet you all make your donations, and we're still here building. We still have to make our payment every year. It's $100,000 for the payment. That'll be coming up end of September. But as for our needs right now, we're still moving forward. The generous donations keep coming, and we're able to keep building. And as long as they come, we will build. And then you can come here and pray. So we hope. God bless you. Ave Maria.